This is lesson 1.4 out of the Rates, Ratios, and Statistics book. Lesson 1.4 in Mrs. Walker's class is on page 105. Lesson 1.4 is titled Metric Conversions. And we start with a warm-up. And the warm-up is, let's see, number 1. Roger has 6 green olives and 4 black olives. Oh, it looks like dives. Let me see if I can get this O and L a little more separated. Alright, and 4 black olives. Alright, so A. Write a ratio. Write a ratio of green olives to black olives. I'm out of room, but you know what it means. Green olives to black olives. All right, and B, write a ratio of green olives to total olives. Okay. And problem number 2. Complete each conversion. This is the stuff we were doing yesterday. Complete each conversion. All right, so 18 inches equals how many feet? And let's say, and B, 2 tons equals how many pounds? Right? All right, so that's your warm-up. Let's go ahead and put down our I can statement for this lesson. It is, I can convert metric measurements. I can convert metric measurements. That's what we're doing today. And dark green pencil underlines. And on with the notes. Okay, so notes today. Well, I'm going to start out like we did on 1.3 by making some notes in this margin here. And they are, first we'll talk about lengths in metric measurements. So lengths in metric measurements, we talk about centimeters, meters, and kilometers or kilometers, but we usually pronounce it kilometers. We could also put in here millimeters. Millimeters is a smaller measurement. There are 10 measurements. There are 10 millimeters to a centimeter, but it's not used as often. We'll see them in some of our problems, though. And then weight. So weight. Weights. All right, so in weights we talk about grams, kilograms, and metric tons, and it's spelled like this. I know it looks a little weird. I think that's still pronounced tons, but I know when we're coming from customary conversions in the United States, we usually just call it metric tons. Okay, and then last is volume. Volume, the measurements we use are milliliters and liters. Did I spell that right? Is that 2 L's there? I hope so. I think so. All right. And I'm just going to kind of section this off a little bit here. All right, so those are just to get them right handy on our page of notes, the names of the different kinds of measurements, but we'll be working with when we're working in metrics. So this lesson is pretty much the same thing as yesterday. It's just that we're using metric measurements instead of customary measurements. So in my class, I told them, hey, it's same song, second verse. All right, it's all the same. All right, so the first thing I want to remind you on what we learned yesterday is you need to remember when we use multiplication and when we use division. All right, so when we convert from large to small units, we multiply. And when we convert from small to large units, we divide. All right? So large to small, we multiply, and small to large, we divide. All right, so that is critical to remember when we're doing any conversions, whether it's customary or metric. That part stays the same. All right, so let's go over our steps then for converting. Step one. Step one, we figure out, are we going to multiply or divide? All right, do we know? Well, here's the first problem we're going to work on. And it is 3 kilometers or kilometers. 3 kilometers equals how many meters? Okay, 3 kilometers equals how many meters? Well, the first thing we need to know is, are we going to multiply or divide? And I'm moving, a kilometer is a larger unit than a meter, okay? And so I'm moving from larger to smaller, so that means I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to write right up here, L2S equals multiply, so I don't forget. All right, so I made that decision. My second step then is to find the conversion factor. Find the conversion factor. So find the conversion factor. Okay, that means breaking it down to 1 unit equals something. Okay, like we were doing in 1.3. All right, so in this case, we're asking 3 kilometers equals how many meters? Well, 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. All right, now we know we're going to multiply, so what are we going to multiply? 3 times 1 wouldn't change anything, so that doesn't even make sense. So what we're going to multiply is 3 times 1,000. This is why I love the metric system. The numbers are so easy, you can do the math in your head. 3 times 1,000 is 3,000. And so 3 kilometers equals Oh, I skipped a step. I meant to, hang on just a second. We did it. I just didn't write it down as a step. And so then step 3 is do the math. Do the math, which is what we did here. All right. So 3 kilometers equals 3,000 meters. All right. So same thing we did last time. I'm going to take my light green pencil and just kind of draw an underline here, and then show you 2 other problems that we could do. I'm gonna, let's see, 1, 2. I'm going to take it about at the middle of this line and go down 4. All right. Okay, so first problem here. Now let's practice this. I have 5,000 meters equals how many kilometers? KM is the abbreviation for kilometers. How many? All right. Okay, what's my first step? My first step is to figure out whether I'm going to multiply or divide. Meters are smaller than kilometers, so I'm going from small to large. So that means small to large equals divide. I know I'm going to divide. Now my second step is to find my conversion factor. Well, 5,000 meters is 1 kilometer. 1,000 meters 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. Now I know I'm going to divide. So what is it I'm going to divide? 5,000 by 1,000. So 5,000 divided by 1,000 equals 5. And so 5,000 meters equals 5 kilometers. 5. Okay? All right, now one more over here. How about 3.9 kilograms equals how many grams? All right, first thing I got to do is figure out, am I going to be multiplying or dividing? Well, kilograms are larger than grams, so I know this is going to be large to small, which equals multiply. All right, then I have to figure out my conversion factor, right? Well, 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. Let's see if I can fit it. 1,000 grams, just barely. All right, now it's do the math time. So I know I'm going to be multiplying, so I'm going to be multiplying 3.9 times 1,000. Again, this is where I love the metric system. It makes math so easy. All I have to do to multiply this is move my decimal a certain number of places to the right. How many places? Well, there are 3 zeros here, so it tells me I have to move it 3 places. So that would be 3, 9, there's 1 place, 2 place, 3 place. So now I have 3,900. So 3.9 kilograms is equal to 3,900 grams. All right. Get that a little bit better in frame. Okay, with my light green pencil, I'm going to draw a line under there. I got one more thing to show you. All right, so we've been doing this. There's 2 ways to do these kinds of conversions, and there's the way I just got done showing you, and then there's the building the equivalent fraction method, which we also did yesterday, or excuse me, in 1.3, whenever you did that lesson. All right, so here we go. Let's put this problem down. If 200 centimeters equals 2 meters, and it does, how many meters is 600 centimeters? All right, so we build our fraction here. So we have 200 centimeters over 2 meters equals, and we want to know, we have this 600 centimeters. Well, we have to keep the 600 on top because we have the centimeters on top. It doesn't it doesn't matter whether we have centimeters on bottom or top, or meters on bottom or top here. It just matters that we match it up on this side. So if I put the centimeters on top on this side of the equal sign, then I have to do the same thing on the other side. All right? So this is what I'm trying to figure out. How many 600 centimeters is how many meters? All right, so let's remember how we make our equivalent fractions. Well, I have to figure out, what did I do to the 200 to turn it into a 600, right? Well, we know that we usually make these little arrows, and we have to times it by 3, and that gave us 600. Well, whatever we do to the top, we have to do to the bottom, right? So now we're going to do the same thing, times 3, which is going to equal 2 times 3 is 6 meters. So that completes the equivalent fractions. All right? Okay, so that's our notes. Let's take a look at some practice problems. Okay, practice problems for lesson 1.4. We have complete each conversion. There's 4 of them. They're very similar to the ones we did in our notes. So there's conversion 1 and 2. You may pause here and work these out. And then there's conversion problems 3 and 4. Pause here and work those out. All right, let's see how they're done. Okay, so step 1 is to figure out, well, am I going to go smaller? Am I going to be multiplying or dividing? All right, on problem number 1, a kilometer is larger than a meter. And if I'm going from large to small, I'm multiplying. So I'm going to write up here, large to small equals multiply. Okay, so I know I'm going to do that. Well, what's my conversion factor? Well, 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. All right, so I know I'm going to multiply. Looks like I'm going to be multiplying 2 times 1,000. So 2 times 1,000 equals 2,000. And so 2 kilometers is equal to 2,000 meters. All right, there's the first one. Now, problem number 2. All right, 2.4 kilometers to grams. Kilometers are larger than grams, so I'm going to, again, be going large to small equals multiply. All right, well, did I say kilometers? Sorry, kilograms. 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. Metric measurements are so easy to memorize. All right, we're going to multiply again. So now I have 2 4/10 times 1,000. When I multiply, all I have to do is move the decimal 3 places to the right because I have 3 zeros in 1,000. So it's going to be 2,400. So 2 4/10 kilograms, or 2.4 kilograms, equals 2,400 grams. All right. Okay, let's look at number 3. Number 3, we have 4,000 meters equals how many kilometers? Okay, meters are smaller than kilometers. So small to large means I'm going to divide. All right? All right, so I need to find my conversion factor. Well, I know that there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. Okay, and I'm going to divide. So it looks to me like I'm going to divide 4,000 by 1,000. Easy math. That gives me 4. So 4,000 meters is equal to 4 kilometers. And our last one. All right, I'm going to be converting from centimeters to meters. Centimeters are smaller than meters, so it looks like, again, small to large equals divide. All right, and then, oops, let's get that paper back centered again. Here we go. Okay, so I need to find my conversion factor. Well, I know that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So 450 divided by 100. I'm dividing, so now I'm moving the decimal to the left. two places because there are 2 zeros in 100. So that's going to bring me 4 and 5/10, or 4.5, however you want to say that. So 4, and we use decimals usually when we're dealing with meters. So I would say 4 and 5/10, or 4.5, as most people would probably say. But proper math is 4 and 5/10. All right. So that's how we do those problems. Now let's take a peek at your worksheet for this lesson. Okay, 1.4 worksheet. The top part is just talking about reasonable estimates. This is, do you understand what these measurements actually mean? Can you apply them to what you see around you? I know at Shasta we have supplied you with a little chart that you've glued into your notebook, so refer to those if you're not sure. Then down here, the conversion parts, these are just what we've done in your notebooks. I do want to put a star next to 12 and 14 though. In your conversion charts that we've supplied for you for finding conversion factors, you're not going to see anything that goes immediately from centimeters to kilometers or millimeters to meters. Okay, you've got 2 conversion factors you're going to have to use there, because you're going to have to go centimeters to meters and then meters to kilometers, millimeters to centimeters, and then centimeters to meters. All right, and then on this worksheet, there's a typo, and this problem does not work unless this 200 is changed to a 2, and we don't really talk about decimeters, so it's up to your teacher. They may ask you to change this to 2 and then to tell you that there's 1 decameter. 1 decameter equals 10 meters. Or they may just have you take this one out and just work with these 3 to find the answer to this question. I don't know which one they'll do, but I needed to point that out because that's a definite typo on that worksheet. Okay, so that leaves us with your exit ticket for lesson 1.4. As always, I just give this to you for extra practice. I don't show you how to do it or give you the answers. All right. Well, that's lesson 1.4 out of the Rates, Ratios, and Statistics book. Remember, the only way to learn math is to do math, and mistakes are proof that you are learning.